Hello, I'm Daniel Kmak, and today I wanted to record a video about is it hard to become a programmer? Okay, so uh, I'm 19 years old. I got my job right after high school. Um, I wrote an article about it on Medium. You can read it, of course. I also wrote an article in Polish which went viral, and I think I'm a good person to tell you more about this because I'm right after this long learning path to become a programmer, to get first job. So, is it hard? Well, you need to understand that to get a job, you need to pass a technical interview, and they need to invite you to that interview for that position. So, it's very good to build an online presence, to build some projects and put them on GitHub, to create demos of projects you've created online, when that you can send links to the recruiters so they can show it to the programming team and they decide if they want you for a technical interview or not. It's important that you have these projects, that you have this portfolio built. It's one thing. Another thing is technical knowledge. You're gonna be asked tough questions. I was only on JavaScript and front-end developer interviews, but the questions were tough. On my first interviews, I learned a lot from them because I was asked questions that were hard for me to answer. Even when I was working here in WorkHQ, I was on an interview on another company, and I got asked a question to build an elevator algorithm in JavaScript, for example. And I failed at it. I failed. I created a program that was supposed to do that. It took me lots of lines of code. I got nervous. At the end, I sent it to the guy who was technically interviewing me. Actually, the interview was on Skype, and later, for some live coding, we used other site. But he told me, okay, so write this code on this site and send me if you're ready. And he disconnected from the Skype call. Okay, so actually I could like search for the answer to this question on Wikipedia or something. I actually did that, but it didn't help me. So it was pretty funny. He completely told that I did it completely wrong, but he asked me if I want a second chance on technical interview to do something again. So it's pretty amazing that for a technical position I was available to do this. Like I could use an online resources to complete this, but it was still hard for me. Why? Because I didn't have an understanding of the problem, a good understanding of, in this case, elevator problem, and I was never presented this problem previously. So it is hard because, and why I'm telling you about it. You can't just learn a language. You can know a lot of programming languages, but the most important thing, maybe, than knowing lots of technologies, is that you know how to solve the problems. If you know some algorithms or some common approaches like filtering a list, or on interview you often get these questions that you have data in one format and they want you to put it into another format, right? And you need to write a function which is doing that. So actually, it's not that important that you know the methods to do that. You can even get tips from the person who's interviewing you, but it's more important that you know a way to solve problems in different languages, because language doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to solve problems. And for me, I started learning this. Started learning programming like 4 years ago. I did some freelance. I was part of my friend's startup, which was a fail actually. I was developing it 6 months, but by myself. I did front end and back end. I learned a lot. I spent a lot of time to complete that application. So, can we say that you need 4 years to get first job in programming? Well, no. Actually, I was consulting. I was teaching part-time when I was second year in high school. But you know, when you learn, when you have school, you can't work full time. I was offered jobs earlier, but why? How I managed to get these offers earlier? Well, I had a project to show. So it was that my friend's startup site. I had videos how this site was working. I also have a private repository on GitLab that I could show to technical recruiters, and I could show them the code I have written. I remember showing this code on one interview, and the guy actually told me that I had a memory leak in one file that he was looking at, the first file I opened. So yeah, I got a lot of feedback on these interviews, but more than my skills, and it will be also in your cases if you want to get a first programming job, will be if you have a passion and if you have ambition to be a better programmer, to learn. That's very important. That's very, very important. If you're able to show that on a Skype call, for example, then wow, you're already better than more people, than all people who go into interview and they are programming for cash, or it was their primary motivation. I was programming a long time for free, so you know, it's when we hired a new person in our company in WorkHQ, then the more important thing for us was also the ability to understand our problems. We also work in niche technology because it's Ember.js, so it's not that easy to get a skilled Ember.js developer. It's often recruiting people who know other frameworks, other JavaScript frameworks, and they can adapt to a new framework. So it's the passion, it's your ability to learn, which matters on an interview. But yeah, before I get this job, I worked, like already said, that 3 or 4 years at home. And you need to have a lot of motivation to do that. You need to actually like the thing. I often talk with people and they say that programming isn't for them, that the IT industry isn't completely for them. And I could understand that if they actually tried. Because I also thought like them for some time, and I wanted to become a graphic designer first, because I actually tried programming, but I started reading a Lua scripting language specification or something like that, which was very hard to understand. It was making completely no sense to me, and I thought that programming will never be for me. So yeah, I recommend everyone to try it, because talents work this way, in my opinion, that you will never know that you are talented in something unless you try. And in human life, there are lots of different things you can do. It could be programming. It could be, I don't know, dancing, singing, painting, publicly speaking. Lots of things that you can actually try, and you won't know if you are actually good at this or you have a potential to be good at this if you don't actually try. And why people don't try? Because they fear something. And for programming, there are actually lots of resources. There are also lots of resources targeted at people who like to learn programming. They're complete newbies. And yes, another thing you need to accept, that the process is gonna be long if you're learning, that you need to like the thing what you're doing. I wouldn't focus so much at the end goal. I mean, it's important that you have a goal to get a first job, but you actually need to like the process of learning, because it's going to take some time. You need to accept that at the beginning you're gonna make mistakes, and you need to acknowledge also other thing, that at the beginning when you will be learning, there will be lots of resources to answer your questions. But later, the more you learn, the more specific your problems will be, or a custom, like you're building some application to learn programming, and you get some problem because how you created this, how you designed this application, and it's possible that you won't find an answer, like copy-paste answer to your question, and you will need to dig on this topic. It could take you, for example, a day of thinking or 2 days to solve something. You need to accept frustration that will come through this process if you can't do something. If you watch videos on YouTube, for example, from some video course, like I did, because I started learning by watching PHP Academy video tutorials on YouTube. And okay, I watched these 5 to 10 minutes videos, and I really like this. But later I wanted to create some kind of system in PHP, like an auction system for items for some game. And okay, I opened the editor, and there was blank page in this editor, blank file, and I had no experience. I didn't know how to begin. So in this case, if you don't know how to begin, it's good to ask questions to other people who might guide you how to do something. I had a friend, and I asked him on a communicator, and he was kind to answer my questions. Complete newbie questions, but thanks to him I knew that the way I chose it is doable. Okay guys, so at the end I just wanted to say that you need a lot of motivation to learn programming. You need to like a process, but most importantly, you need to try by yourself. Because if you won't try, you'll never know if you're able to learn it. And yes, please begin. Wish you all the best and see you in next videos.